Hello again. So today we are talking about developmental psychology. What is the meaning of development? How do you think about the word development? Learning?
Yeah.
Wow. Other definitions? What is the difference between development and growth? There are some typically differences between them. For example, sometimes you say economic development, and sometimes you say development, economic growth. What's the difference between development and growth? Is there any differences here or not? In biology, in psychology, also in sociology, we have some typical differences between development and growth. Development is a process. Growth is in the size. Development is something qualitative, but growth is quantitative. For example, in adolescence, you have a good growth, but until midlife, you don't have any good development. Why? Development is relative to your maturity, to your past life history and past life experiences, and what you have learned from your past life history, from your past life experiences. And I said to you before in the previous sessions, what was the sign of learning? When you will understand, yes, I have learned it. When? What is the sign of learning? Do you remember or not? The sign of learning was change. When have you learned something? When you have changed. So you can have a lot of experiences, but not to learn. Why? Because you don't have any change. Bless you. Okay. And what about developmental psychology? Every type of science, every type of matters has some keyword. The keyword is the word that indicates the core, the soul of the meaning, the main core of the meaning. What is the keyword of developmental psychology? How do you think about it? Is there any one word that indicates the main core of developmental psychology or not? For example, I know that a lot of you have some sports practices. And we have a field in psychology, a specialist field. It is so-called sports psychology. Very good field, very good money-making field in psychology and also in sport. Sports psychology. For example, in that part of psychology, we said the main core, the keyword is practicing and competition. For example, we have a phrase in sports psychology, so it is competition anxiety. It's a part of sports psychology. It is not about the competition, it's about the competition anxiety. It's a part of sports psychology. But in you, what do you have to assume? What do you have the main core, the main word, the keyword for developmental psychology? The keyword is change. Developmental psychology is the scientific studying of long life changes. Lifelong changes. So is there any change, for example, in old aging? Do we have any change in old aging or not? No? Yeah. Yeah. Pay attention. Change is not always positive. Developmental psychology doesn't talk about the only positive changes in life. All changes. For example, in old aging, you know that our memory is lost. In the severe part, it is called Alzheimer's disease. Okay, you know it. But your maturity, your skills is better than, for example, young adult when you are old age. What is the hottest part? hardest stage of life for change. Choosing. We have these stage of life. From 0 to 12, it is called, from 0 to 12 years old, it is called, what stage? It is earlier stage. But what is the name of this part of life? It is called childhood. From 12 to 22, it is adolescence, and sometimes to 18 or 19. Different books have some type of different numbers. But relatively, between 12 and 20, 22, it is adolescence. Between 22, it is second. The third part, between 22 to 35, it is called young adult, or young. Yes, all you are in young adult. 35 to 65 is called midlife or middle age. And after 65, it is old age or aging. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 non stages of life. In psychology, we don't call stage, we say seasons. 5 seasons of life. Why we call it season? Because from each season to another season, they have a lot of great and basically changes. Young adult is not like adolescent. Adolescent is not like child. Old age is not like midlife. 5 seasons of life. Same. First, no numbers, only name. First season is childhood. Second, adolescent. Third, young adult. 4, straight from adolescent to midlife. No young adult. 4, and the last one it is old age. Old aging or aging. And sometimes there is another stage, another season after 85. But it's so interesting that we have a part of psychology about the death. How many stages do you pass when you know that you will die soon, or one of your relatives will die so soon? For example, in cancer. You have cancer, and doctor said to you, maximum rate after 19 days you will die. How many psychological, mental, emotional parts do you pass? At first, it is 5 stages. At first, it is denial. No, the doctor said lie. Something may be wrong. No, it's not for me. It's not my destiny. It's not my mother's destiny. It's not my national destiny, and other things. Every time I'm talking about developmental psychology, about death. Changes occurs when you know that you or one of your important, significant others will die as soon as possible. Only in this stage of life, we have psychological changes. It is called death psychology. The first part is denial. After that, it is questioning. May it be wrong? Some days more. Why 19 days? Sorry, after that is anger. Why me? Why my mother? And after that is questioning. How can we do about it? How can change the duration of getting near to death and other parts of catastrophic life? And the fourth stage is, for example, depression. Wow, such a bad destiny my mother has. Dying by cancer. Bless you. And the fifth and the last stage of death psychology is acceptance. If you accept everything, you will be calm, state of mind, peace of mind. I have a basic question. What is the difference between acceptance and give up? Are the same?
No.
What's the difference between acceptance and give up? Yeah. Do you give up your life or you accept your life? You know, the first part of mental health is self-acceptance. Everybody you are, no matter. Self-acceptance is the basic part of your mental health. No challenging, no self-conflict. But what is the difference between give up and acceptance? Is there any difference or not? What's the difference?
Like you don't really care anymore. You
Uh-huh.
kind of just like lost hope and you're just roaming.
And give up.
Yeah. In a while, acceptance is like I feel like you know what you have to do to get to where you want to get.
What about the change? What is stages? Giving up or acceptance? Which ends to change? Is there any change here?
If you give up, there's no change.
Is there any change in self-acceptance?
Yes.
I accepted myself. Why change? It's paradoxical. If you accept yourself, why change? Also, there are some changes. I'm asking you about it. When I accept myself, what's the necessity for change? I accept myself. So the third word coming here, giving up, acceptance, and approval. You can accept yourself, but not approve yourself. That's good. It's the changing point. For example, when you are substance addicted, well, my destiny is substance addiction. My father was substance addicted. My whole family was substance addicted. So my destiny is substance addicted. Sorry, God. For the next life, I try not to be a substance addicted. It is giving up. No extra option, no changes, no other things. It's giving up. It is passive reaction, not active reaction. But when you accept, yes, I have a genetic for substance addiction. My father was substance addiction, my mother, my whole family, and other things. But I don't have any problem with my genetic, with my history. When you give up, you approve that your history is the same your destiny. It is giving up. Your history will be your destiny. But in self-acceptance, you don't have any conflict with your genetic, with your past life history, family history, cultural history, and other things. No conflict. What is the meaning of conflict? Yes, I accept that I have some bad tendency, for example, to be a substance addicted. But I don't approve it. I want to change it. A father died for alcoholism, and he had 2 sons. One of them was alcoholism, and one of them became a professional athletic person. One question asked from both of them: why have you become such a thing? Substance addicted, alcoholist, or a professional athletic person? And both of them has answered one unique answer. How do you expect from a person that has such a father? I am the son of the same father. One of them giving up. Why? I had an alcoholic father, so I am an alcoholic son. One of them said, I saw that my father died because of alcohol overuse. So I give up the alcohol overuse. I accept my weakness point. So change it to my power point. So do you know what is the meaning of pessimism? Optimism and pessimism. Yeah. Do you know the meaning of optimism? Optimistic people are foolish or smart. Why smart? They think everything is good always. Is everything is good always in reality? How do you think about optimism? Are you optimistic or not? Are you optimistic or not? Are you optimistic? I am optimistic. But who think here that optimism, for example, is not realistic? What is the meaning of optimism?
It's like when stuff goes bad, we see it good out of
What is the most famous example of optimism in the culture? What is the most famous? Half glass. Full or empty. Oh, okay? Have you heard it? Optimistic people say about the full half, and pessimistic people say about the empty half. But it is real. Half of the glass is empty, half of the glass is full. Okay, it's realistic. What is different? It is the focal point. The difference is in focal point. Which point you concentrate? Do you concentrate on the full half, or do you concentrate on the empty half? So optimism and pessimism both are realistic. So who is self-deceptive? What's the meaning of self-deception? Do you have any experience of self-deception? I have a lot of self-deception. Have you deceived yourself until now? So a smart man. When I was a manager, I always deceive myself. Nobody has deceived me more than. So it is called self-deception, not deception by others. If you say, no, this glass is completely full, it is not realistic. It is not optimistic, not pessimistic. It is self-deception. Yes, I think nothing doing and I will have a lot of gain. Maybe, is it optimistic? Have you heard my sentence or not? If I say, I know if I do anything, I will have a lot of gains. Gain, profits, money, scores, reputation, and other things. But doctor said no pain and no gain. Yes, I cannot have any pain and have a lot of gain. Is it optimistic? No. Is it pessimistic? No. It is self-deception. When you accept and approve, these are the difference between giving up and acceptance. Acceptance ends to approval. My history is not my destiny. Developmental psychology is the scientific study of changing your life. But we have seasons of life. There's a very, very, very good scientific book, 2 volumes. The first is seasons of men's history, seasons of women's history. There are some gender differences between men and women in seasons of life. For example, what is the basic biological change in female history? What is the basic biological? When you say, yeah, after that you say, I am not the same child. I am a woman. I can be a woman. Potentially I am woman. Between 15 to 55, about 40 years. What is the basic biological transformation in body of male, man? What is that? For example, your voice is not like your childhood. We talk about like a man. Make it change. Okay. For example, voices. And sometimes when there is no change, you say, Have you grown up enough or not? Okay. What are the major questions in developmental psychology? There are three major questions. The first one, are there any global universal patterns for changing for seasons of life? The patterns that are universal, not cultural, there are cross-cultural. For example, when a girl grew up in Middle East, in Africa, in America, and in other parts of the world, are there any universal patterns of change in life or not? It is culture-based, it is national-based, and other things. How do you think about it? For example, the process of change for a boy in Iran, my country, is different from America or not? Is it the same or not? Some part near to America, for example, in Mexico. The process of changing of life in Mexico, near California, is related to the something specific in that country or not? The same stages, not the same content. Pay attention. We are talking about the form, not about the content. What is this? Okay. Can you change it with water? Okay, after finishing, you can go and put it with water. The form is the same. The shape is the same. But the content may be different. Starbucks or water. We are talking about the forms of change, not content. What's in a form of change? It is called that, for example, everybody between 12 and 19, 13 and 19, which is called, a word about the teen. It is the age of teen. It is called teenager. Teenager is somebody who is at the age of teens, between 13 and 19. Because of that, it is called teenager. Somebody whose age is at the teens, at the years of teens. Do we have any different in the form of the change in different countries or not? Some researchers says yes, we have some different. But most of the research says no. There are same forms of change with different content. For example, if you grow up in a religious country, in a religious state of America, the content of identity will be so religious. Who is a good man in a religious, for example, culture? Everybody has a good faith to God and doing things under religious orders. It is the content. But for example, in some liberal parts like California, maybe something different. But the form of adolescence is identity seeking. What is the question of identity seeking? What we ask us when we find our identity. The question is, who am I? The major question of identity seeking is, who am I? In the adolescence, the best and the most important question is, who am I? Who are you? Yes, everybody when asked, who are you? They said to us, their name. But you are not your name. Your name is your label that your parents choose not to love you, to find you. Let's see it again. Your name is not your main core of personality. It is your label. What's your name? Okay, Allah. Maybe, for example, our parents choose another name. What is another name? If you want to choose a name, except Allah, what was the name? I don't know. No, the name is, I don't know. A lot of people, okay, that's good. The original soundtrack of class. Back vocabulary class is so good. So the first question is, who am I? The first question is, are there any general patterns of development all around the world for all cultures, for all countries? A lot of research says yes, there are some general patterns of change in all countries. And the second one, the second question, major question in developmental psychology, is that are development a nurturing or a natural issue? What is the meaning of nurturing in development? Nurture is about training. Have you come here with a lot of back history from your parents or not? Yes. What is the name of your parental back history in your body? This is called genetics. The history of your parents will give you as a kid. It is genetic. Is development always genetic based or not? Who is not here like his or her parents? Nobody. If I have a photograph of your family and different people, I can find who is parent, who is son, who is daughter. Because of biological similarities. And also your aunt, and also your uncle, and other relatives. But these are about your shape. I have a good question, a critical question. What is the main source of education and influencing in your adolescence? What is your main source of influencing on your character, shaping your personality when you are adolescent? Who are the main source? No, sorry. As a parent, you don't have any influence on our adolescents. Peer group. Peer group. Peer group is the most important, influential educational source. After 12, sorry, parents are always or angry or kind. Why? Because your peer group is more important. Why? Because you are seeking your identity and you find your identity at your peer group, at your classmates, at your friends. And the third question. What are the stages of development? Is development a stage-based process or not? It's a total process, whole process with no stages. For example, when I want to develop my life, should I pass some stages? This is a stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, or not? There are different theories about it. One of the most important theory about the stage-based development is Piaget theory of development. Piaget was a European scientist who works first on the developmental stages of human being. 4 stages, for example, Piaget said about the childhood and adolescence. But the major problem is that Piaget and other theorists don't pay attention to after adolescence. They think that all development ends at the end of adolescence. No changing in adulthood. So it's a false. Why? A lot of you will change in adulthood, in It is not fake, but it is incomplete. That everything happens in your first 5 years of age, 5 years of age, your old age, it is complete. No, it is fake. After age of 5, you will have a lot of changes. Yes, basis of your personality shaped at the first 5 years of your life. Only basics. The whole life. So don't be helpless and hopeless about your change. Who wants to change here? Is there anybody here who have a vision for changing his or her life or no? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or everybody? Other people don't answer because they are not at the class. They're at the mobile phone. So everybody wants to change. Please say me about your favorite change in the future, if it is possible to talk about it.
Like right now?
Uh-huh.
Or
If you want to change, for example, after 2 years, what is the favorite point after 2 years from now?
like changing school or keeping health or like.
As you
Okay,
wish.
so like I guess.
What's your favorite?
My favorite is like if I know I'm not doing good with my mental health,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go see a psychiatrist and like a therapist to see what I could do for myself to like improve.
Uh-huh.
And then with that, like I'm accepting what's wrong and then like I'm doing what I can to improve myself.
So your favorite point is more happiness,
Yeah.
more relaxed, more mental health.
Yeah.
And anybody else here want to talk about their favorite change after 2 years? What about you? What's your favorite change after 2 years from now? Money? Independent. And if it's related to your personality, independent personality or no, independent physical and reality position. And is it related to your financial position or not? For example, independent money, independent job, not living with their parents, it is independency. So what about you? Martino, what about you? What's your favorite change after 2 years from now? Yeah. It's financial independence or not? Some of you will have financial independence after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. But unfortunately, you don't have any independent personality. You will not be happy. You can be rich, but not happy. You can be rich, but not happy. Happiness is other thing. Happiness is related to security, okay? And money give you security, okay? Money give you options, opportunity, yes. Money give you freedom, yes. But necessarily, money doesn't give you happiness. How many people you know that they are rich but not happy? How many people are rich and have died by suicide? In my country, I wrote an article about Robin Williams, I think 5 years ago, about the relativeness between happiness and success. Because my favorite actor was Robin Williams. And how he died? Suicide. And I thought that is there any relationship between happiness and success? He was very, very, very successful, but he was not happy. So in the developmental psychology, sometimes we consider these parts. Which season of life is happier than other seasons? A lot of people say, yes, my childhood was the happiest season. Why? Who think here that his or her childhood was the happiest season of life? Was not. Not good. Everything is dependent to the parents. You don't have any choice. Was good. Another Adrian, how was about childhood? Do you think childhood was your happiest season of life or not? Adolescence is better or young adulthood is better? For you. Young adult is better than childhood. Okay. And what about you? Here. I'm here for you. Thank you, sir. Do you think that childhood was your happiest season of life or not? Adrian says young adult is better than childhood. Lady says no, happiest. What is your happiest part?
Right now.
Right now? Okay. Young adult is done right now. Why? What is the key factor to be happy? For example, in your young adulthood, in contrast with your childhood. Lady says dependency. Okay?
Yeah, you're restricted.
Uh-huh.
And like, I have income, I don't have income.
You said, can you repeat what you said?
What is your happiest season of life?
You said.
A lot of people says childhood is not. Adrian says no. Lady says, you say yes, childhood was the happiest. I asked them why, they said because of dependency. We have a lot of right-up choices in young adulthood. When we was baby, when we was child, we didn't have any good right-up choices. You say no, childhood was very good because yes, I didn't have any right-up choices, but also I didn't have any responsibility. Free of charge. So these are about the developmental psychology, the seasons of life. What is the basic part of childhood? What is the basic source of happiness in childhood? You know? What is the basic part of childhood or basic factor of happiness in childhood? What is that? Who is worried about future just now in this class? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, everybody. So I should change my question to this question. Who is not worried here about the future? But who thinks so safe? One of the basic source of happiness in the childhood is not worrying about the future. Why? Because you don't think about the future. Why? Because you don't have any understanding about timeline. When you have no history, no past life history, or you have short past life history, you don't have any feeling about the past life. But it is short. When you are a child, your past life history is very short. And you grow and grow and grow. And your past life history will grow and grow and grow. This is called memory. Bad memory will disturb your future, will destroy your future. Short memory, short life history, okay, this is good for happiness. But sorry, you cannot be always as a child. You should grow up and go to the community, go to the society, go to the job. And the last question. What is the major important experience in adolescence and also in young adulthood? What is the most influential, emotional experience in adolescence and especially in young adulthood? What is the critical cutoff point experience in your whole life, which begins sometimes in adolescence and regularly in Young adulthood.
Like relationships.
What is the name of that specific type of relationship? It is
Love. Love.
loud.
Love.
Love. It's the critical point. Love is the cutoff point of your young adulthood. Young adulthood as the basic and cutoff point for the rest of life, which is called long-term intimate relationship. Long-term intimate relationship, which is called LOVE. Long-term intimate relationship, which is called LOVE. Love. Love is the cutoff point of your emotional life. Your emotional life has two parts: before falling in love and after falling in love. And I have a good or maybe bad question. Love is not related to sex. Love is not related to sex because a lot of you have different sexual experience before experiencing love. Sex is somatic, sex is about your body. But sex is a part of love, but necessarily love is not a part of. You can have a lot of sex without love, but the real love has a more important part of sex. You are at the first years of your young adulthood. You should think about your relationship. Because relationships can make your life and also can destroy your life. Relationship and family is everything. Shh. Right. Relationship as family is everything. You are at the first years of your life. If you construct or deconstruct your relationship, your other parts, your following parts, your rest of your life will change. Maybe constructive, maybe destructive. And the love is the first part of emotional development. What is the role of past life history in organizing and shaping life? It is related to your parental style. When in a family, parents don't pay attention to the children, but pay attention to together. They love together, but don't pay attention to the children. Children will grow up. We are happy parents. No, we are happy spouse. They have a good effect on their children. They don't pay attention to children, only pay attention to together. But they are a good model for the next love style. We can study about it in the internet. We have a good word in psychology, so-called love styles. What are the styles of love? For example, intimacy is one part of love styles. Passion and sexual relationship is the one style of love styles. Commitment is a one component of love style. Different component of love styles. We have different love styles, no one love style. It's so interesting. When in a family, parents not as parents, as wife and husband, as boyfriend, even girlfriend, has a good and happy relationship together, even when they don't pay attention to the training of the children. They are good role models for the next love style of their children. In contrast, when wife and husbands are only parents, we should grow up a successful child. Yeah, a great man for the future. But they don't pay attention together as wife and husband. They will destroy maybe destroy their child future emotional life. What is the changing point when you go out of the home, parental home, and see and look and observe other people, how to have relationship together? Yes, it is observational learning. Because of that, I said that the most influential group, the most influential educational source in your adolescence are not your parents or your peers. Please, quiz 5. Study the PowerPoints and take the quiz 5.